Hey, it's Scott here in Kingston, Ontario, and it's September the 18th, I believe, today, which is a Sunday, and I'm going to give you a little garden tour today, and doing so on my new HD camcorder, so hopefully you'll be able to get a better look at what the actual garden looks like, because my last camera just wasn't very good at taking video. So having a look here at the rhododendrons, which did really well this year, nice and flowered, and put out quite a bit of size. Euonymus tree, and next year this garden will be getting expanded because it's, as you can see, kind of busting out, and we'll be adding more additions there. Had a couple of pretty cool mornings the past couple of mornings. 2 days ago we had a 4-degree Celsius morning, but no frost, thankfully, but north of the city they did. And typically here we get frost around Thanksgiving, so around the 10th of October. So here's the front bed, and here's the Edith Bogue, which looks good. Time will tell though, and see how it reacts to the winter. Here's the teddy bear variety of rhododendron, which has a kind of cool under leaf, as you can see. It's kind of fuzzy. Here's the Cuba japonica, which took a real beating last winter. Part of the plant got a fungus, so I've cut it down, and I'm going to protect it this winter to give it a chance. It's a Trachycarpus, which put out about 7 fronds this summer. It's done pretty well. It's from ground to the top of the fronds is probably about 5.5 feet tall, and the trunk on it is about 1.5 feet or so. Already got some mums this weekend, replacing the flowers that are starting to not enjoy the cooler temperatures. We'll go around to the back. A little tour here. So here's my hydrangeas and rhododendron. The cactus bed area. Yucca rostrata, Yucca nana, a couple of Banana Joe Salt Spring Island palms, and prickly pear cactus. It's a fig that I got as a gift, which I'll plant next year. Not sure if it's a hardy variety or not. Some more palms from Banana Joe and gardenias, which haven't minded the cool temperatures. Okay, so here's the palmy area. So here's the Trachycarpus fortuna. This was my big one, which has about 4 foot of clear trunk. And as you can see, it's kind of didn't grow a whole lot. It's put out only about 5 fronds this summer. But the one that I had in just a little bit before, which was probably only about 1 foot of trunk, and the fronds went up to about 4 feet, is now, as you can see, almost as tall as the other one with the fronds, and the trunk on it is probably about 2.5 feet. So this one's thriving, and it's put out about between 10 and maybe 12 fronds. Here's a sable minor, and you can see some little Salt Spring Island seedlings that have come up that I spread in the garden last year. And here's the needle palm, which flowered again this year. Put out about 3 to 4 fronds. And another seedling there, Trachycarpus. The banana I had here died. I didn't plant it properly, and there's a lot of clay underneath, and it sat in water, so I ended up replacing it with a bird of paradise. And then you can still see some of the crepe myrtles here, which are finishing flowering. They started around the 10th or so of August, and are just starting to finish up flowering. And this one's definitely going to need to be moved. I said I was going to move it last year, but never did. But as you can see, I mean, it's almost 12 feet tall, and there's not a whole lot of room for it to expand, so thinking about putting it in the front next year. Here's the Magnolia Virginianas. I'm interested to see how many leaves they'll lose and when they'll lose them, so I'll keep you updated on that. Here's how things are going here. So here's my other Banana Joe Salt Spring Island Trachycarpus, which was over the winter in the ground and has 4 fronds on it, and it just had a little piece of plastic covering over it. It's a Spanish yucca. Green Acuba japonicas. Here's a variegated yucca which I thought died but came back from the root. This is Franklinia, I believe I'm pronouncing it right, or Franklina. Here's a live oak tree which I will protect and see if I can get it to overwinter. There's an oleander that will not be out here for the winter. Some more of my rhododendrons, another yucca filamentosa, another yucca filamentosa, Trachycarpus fortunae, which will stay out here over the winter with no heat. Hydrangeas. Here's the only part of that banana I was able to salvage, so I'm going to take this one in the pot, put it in the garage over the winter. Pond. Got big leaf magnolia, which this will be its first winter. Really neat looking tree when they get bigger. Another Trachycarpus fortunae. Another one there. Holly, Viburnum davidi. It's done really well, and will be its second winter. It's a small leaf rhododendron. What else here? Some elephant ears, left coat, broadleaf evergreen. The ivy is really starting to spread in here as soon as we got the cooler temperatures. I'll have to pull some of that out. Moonglow magnolia. This will be its first winter. There's a Cuba, a type of japonica. I think it's Pierre's or japonica. Broadleaf evergreen. Buford holly, which this is its second winter it's coming into. It did pretty well this year and has regained its size. Another rhododendron. American holly tree. This was given to me by a fellow in Kingston, and this will be its first winter. Not anticipating too many problems with it, but I'm gonna just burlap it to keep the sun off it. Magnolia Bracken's Brown Beauty. This will be its third winter coming up. Put out a lot of new leaves this year. Nice glossy leaves. And it actually just finished putting out its leaves last week. So it's did really well this year despite a cold winter. Zone 5A winter. So hopefully this winter maybe we'll get lucky and just have a zone 6 and these plants can really take off next year. Moving along, another filamentosa that flowered. Here's some more palms from Salt Spring Island. There's a Washingtonia filifera, and it only put out this frond, which isn't all the way out, and then this one here. So my feeling is that our GDD here in Kingston just isn't high enough. I think we're around 2200, 2000 GDD. And I just don't think it's enough to really get these washies to pump out enough fronds during the year, which would in turn get this into decline. So I'm going to pull this one out. I'm not going to overwinter it like last year and put it in a pot. Either bring it in for the winter or I'll put it in the palm hut. Just don't want to lose it. Here's the bamboo area. Lots of bamboos come up this year. Tall canes. This has been a few winters now. Here's the Magnolia Edith Boat, which received absolutely zero protection last year. Didn't look very good in the spring, but put out a number of nice big leaves on it, and didn't flower. None of my magnolias flowered this year. Hopefully it hardied it up enough that this winter won't do so bad. I may put a garbage can on it this winter, or I may just leave it the way it is. Japanese umbrella pine, which doesn't receive any protection, or won't receive. It hasn't been over my winter yet here, but it won't receive anything. Another Trachycarpus palm, which will stay out here just with a rose cone, more hydrangeas, and coming back to the Cuba japonicas. So hopefully with this video you can get a better idea what the yard looks like now that you can see it clearly. There's a nice shot right there, and hopefully I won't have to protect these guys till about early to mid-November. And the one in the front that I showed you earlier, I'm going to leave that one out till, I'm going to try and push it to December depending on the weather. Thanks for having a look.